Return to the breaking news we were bringing you just moments ago out of Yemen, where the internationally recognized government says it had targeted the runway at Sanaa airport to prevent an Iranian plane from landing. Sanaa airport, of course, under the control of the Houthis. A delegation from the Ansar Allah Houthi group was returning from Tehran after the funeral of Iran's supreme leader. Now, the Houthis control the capital, Sanaa, while the internationally recognized government based in Aden controls most of the rest of the country. Let's get more on this now from Yousef Mawry. He joins us from Sanaa. So, Yousef, is the Yemeni government explaining why it felt it was important to try and stop this plane from landing at this point in time when there are tensions between Saudi Arabia and Iran, not only over Yemen, but over the conflict, the wider conflict that's going on in the region?
Well, according to the Yemeni government, backed by Saudi Arabia, they believe that this Iranian plane is violating Yemen's sovereignty by landing in Sanaa International Airport. The Yemeni government has declared the Ansar Allah movement, the Sanaa government, as a terrorist organization that is not recognized internationally, and therefore any flights directed to Sanaa International Airport, according to the Saudi-backed Yemeni government, are in clear violation of Yemeni airspace, which, according to government officials, forced them to take such drastic actions. Now, the Sanaa government, the Ansar Allah Houthi government, has issued a statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs backed by Ansar Allah. They have declared that this operation was conducted by Saudi Arabia, and they hold Saudi Arabia fully responsible for the strikes that took place in Sanaa International Airport, according to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And they also declare that the 4-year of ceasefire that was signed between the Sanaa government and Saudi Arabia, it is no longer in effect because of these attacks, which they say is in clear violation of the ceasefire agreement that was signed in 2022 between Ansar Allah and Saudi Arabia. That ceasefire stipulated that both sides would relinquish launching attacks. Saudi Arabia would no longer launch attacks using its fighter jets, and the Ansar Allah Houthi group would no longer launch ballistic missiles. That is in jeopardy, and it's no longer in effect. Many are expecting that there will be retaliation, not necessarily just against the Yemeni government backed by Saudi Arabia, but against Saudi Arabia itself. And just a couple of weeks ago, we had Ansar Allah officials declare that if Saudi Arabia violates the ceasefire agreement, then their airports, Saudi airports, are going to be susceptible to ballistic missiles launched from Yemen. So this is a very, very critical situation that we are in right now. It's no surprise that the Sanaa International Airport was attacked. It's also comes to no surprise that the airport in Houthi has come under attack. And in fact, we had an unprecedented situation where the Iranian airliner that was attempting to land at Sanaa International Airport, it could no longer land on the taxi of the airport because it was attacked with 2 airstrikes. But after that, the Iranian airliner, it tried to divert and land at the airport in Houthi. That was also attacked. So it is currently flying over Yemeni skies trying to find an airport to land in. It can't land in Aden airport because that's considered by the Ansar Allah Houthis as enemy territory. According to the reports, we don't know yet if the Iranian airliner has yet landed at the Houthi airport, because there's reports that it has also come under attack by a couple of airstrikes. And if this Iranian airliner is not able to land in Houthi airport, it's only going to lead to further escalation, and we can only wait and see what will come of that.
So, Yousef, listening to what you're saying there, basically, are we now on the lookout to see if the Yemen conflict escalates and whether Yemen becomes another front in the multiple fronts burning across the region right now, from what's going on over the Strait of Hormuz with Iran and the US, the situation in Lebanon, and so on and so forth?
It's going to be the new front, and perhaps it could encompass the entire region, especially with what's happening in Iran. And I say that because, as I mentioned, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs operated by the Ansar Allah movement, they're holding Saudi Arabia accountable. They're saying that this was an operation conducted with the backing of Saudi Arabia, which means that Saudi Arabia is going to come under attack according to, by the ballistic missiles and by the hypersonic missiles that is in the possession of the Ansar Allah Houthi movement. It's only a matter of time before we see, according to Ansar Allah officials and according to recent history, as it has shown us before, the Yemeni group has hypersonic missiles. They're able to launch these hypersonic missiles across the region. We've seen them target Israeli airports. We've seen them target Israeli ports. We've seen them in the past target Saudi airports and Saudi Aramco oil facilities. And this is exactly what the Yemeni group said that they're going to do. As repercussions for this attack on Sanaa International Airport, we can expect to see Saudi airports come under attack, and we can expect the Yemeni group, the Ansar Allah movement, to launch attacks against Aramco oil facilities and Aramco oil pipelines, as we've seen them do in the past. And of course, this is going to result into a drastic increase of fuel and diesel derivatives across the entire globe, especially if they decide to also close Bab al-Mandab. But if this is a conflict that's isolated between the Sanaa Ansar Allah Houthi government and Saudi Arabia, without Israel or without the U.S. Playing a military role in aiding Saudi Arabia, if it gets to that point, then perhaps this could be an isolated incident, situation, an isolated war between Saudi Arabia and the Ansar Allah movement. But many experts fear that it's going to spill and it's going to involve Israel. It's going to involve countries like the U.S., who have played a critical role in aiding Saudi Arabia to try to get rid or to try to topple the grip of the Ansar Allah movement from their control over Sanaa and over the territories that they are currently controlling. They control about 17 Yemeni provinces, and that's something that Saudi Arabia is trying to bring an end to, with the help, of course, of the internationally recognized Yemeni government.
And that's Yousef Mawry reporting to us from Sanaa.